want to check the levels in Discord.
Saying something so you can check the levels on Discord.
That Discord was the one that was going crazy, by the way, not anywhere else. just Discord fucking around.
Actually, it sounds a lot better on stream as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because I'm closer or we switch stuff or...
It's because...
Actually, we always use Discord.
It's because I fixed a ton of shit. It's because I spent a lot of hours not sleeping fixing all our bullshit.
Woo, we did it. We live.
Now let's see if anybody lost interest. 2 weeks we were gone.
Get some Maelstrom behind the scenes shots going. Just autocorrected Maelstrom to margaritas.
Margarita radio. That sounds like a Jimmy Buffett fucking satellite radio station.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh no.
Not here. Here it's almost 7. We should probably start soon though.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Let me just check soundboard levels and we should be good to go. Feeny,
hey, Feeny, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Feeny. Right at the bat with
sending behind the scenes snaps.
Yeah. Let's do one of these. Haven't done one of these in a while.
Get in touch with your wizard.
Okay, both levels are good. Tested both in one shot. That's perfect.
Woo! Did it. We're back and we've got a few tricks.
They can hear me pouring my drink. A Coke Cherry Zero.
We're already back to ASMR.
Just poured Cokes. I wonder if Chili will show up. Someone summon Chili. We're summoning Chili. I feel like we're not back until Chili.
I mean, as soon as I tweet out, Chili usually pops in.
It's true.
Yeah, look at that. That's the scary thing that I found out today.
You're being subbed for 15 months.
We've been affiliates for 15 months.
Fucking, we did it, Reddit.
And 4 of those months we were off of iTunes. Bastards.
Spoilers. Anyway, I guess we should.
Wait, no, I need to get a proper GIF for this, so I need to use my phone.
All right. Oh, we're getting all sorts, dude. We're getting all sorts of love in chat. While you do that, I'm gonna start the show, so I'm gonna go ahead and mute you.
Okay.
Let's see if I still got it. It's been a minute. Okay, audio's recording on both ends. I think it's recording you. Hey, real quick. Let me unmute you. Just, stream can't hear it. Yes. Good, okay, it's recording. Okay. Today is August 31st, 2018. This is episode 94 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. with your hosts, Flatus and Shinder.
And welcome everybody to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Flatus. With me as always, you know what? We've been out for 2 weeks. I feel like I changed this up a little bit. Benvenidos. Yeah, ready? Ready for Benvenidos todos a la Maelstrom Radio. Yo soy Shin, siempre con mi amigo Shin. Ready? How's that?
Hola.
Sí. Buenas todos a la Maelstrom Radio, a Final Fantasy XIV podcast.
The Final Fantasy part just yeah.
Have you not seen like Spanish commercials? They do the same thing. They're like, hamburguesa de Big Mac at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's always fun watching like foreign language, like non-English languages incorporate English words. I can't speak English today. Because it's always funny just hearing this random English word, like especially if you're not familiar with the language and you're just hearing all of this like spiel and then suddenly like McDonald's.
Yeah.
What the hell going on with that?
En un juego de fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
I'm trying to find a GIF for this tweet, but there we go. I think I need a more specific search.
Just find two guys oil wrestling.
I have a very specific idea of what I'm tweeting here.
I did say we were Pop Team Epic earlier today. Which is true.
I'm not including a Pop Team Epic GIF, though.
Fight us. Tell us we're not Pop Team Epic. He wanted me to put up...
I'm pretty sure we already proved that one.
Yeah, he wanted me to put up a poll which was which, but we know which is which. We didn't need a poll to tell us. Hint.
There, I got the tweet out. Everyone can go and retweet, say we're back.
Yeah.
Please appreciate my GIF.
Did you find a Dinosaur Tales GIF? Like, we're back at Dinosaur Tales?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, fuck, we think too much alike. Welcome
I had
to
a
Maelstrom
very
Radio.
specific idea that I needed it to be in there.
It needed to be a live thing. It needed to be. Welcome to Maelstrom Radio. It's a Final Fantasy XIV podcast where the points don't matter. Something of this nature.
The part where everything's made up. Come on.
Well, is it?
Pretty much. I mean, yeah.
Our names. That's true. Everything's made. Anyway, so that being said, I know we've been gone for 2 weeks, but there's some fucking news, so let's hop into that. The fan site kit was updated with new icons. These are just for like your computer desktop. Actually, if you've not gone to the fan site kit, go check it out. And it's neat.
Got icons.
Got icons. They have minion icons, so you can really deck out. That's actually real. Feeny, I think you'd like that. Feeny's in chat. Feeny, go check out. They have all the minion icons. You can deck out your PC icons with minion icons now.
Fat cat. Don't lewd them.
Yeah, you can make an empty trash recycling bin like a normal cat, and then when it's full, a fat cat. No? You could do it. Anything is possible. La Pola? What is? I think Feeny's typing in Spanish. I'm not gonna read it because I may read something offensive. So I'm not gonna do it. There are new Mog Station items for sale. There's a wind-up lease, a wind-up Gosetsu, a authentic rising balloon, the Stormblood Orchestrion roll, Answers Reprise Orchestrion roll, and 30% off certain items. So if you've not gone and taken a look, the Mog Station's having a massive sale. It ends September 24th, so it's plenty of time to get in there and buy something. I think all of us in the FC have pretty much dipped into emptying our wallets a little bit into that damn store. I may be a level 60 summoner now.
Yeah, but just because you're a 60 summoner doesn't mean you can play one.
Fuck yeah, I summoned a Carbuncle's like, I don't know, what the fuck do I do with this thing?
There's your first problem. When you're a 60 summoner, you don't summon the carbuncle.
That's the first button I hit, and I was like, Carbuncle, and he's like, I'm ready. I'm like, I don't, Pikachu, I choose you.
Yeah, but you want your Eggies, not your carbuncle. Come on.
Listen, they gave me a top hat and a monocle. I look like Scrooge McDuck.
Has nothing to do with the fact that you're a summoner.
That's not, but I am one. Also, guess what? Scholar didn't level. I don't know if they changed that, but I kind of bummed out.
Scholar is the same as it. You need to unlock it though.
So what? Did I instantly get a 60?
The base class of it is Arcanist. Arcanist is level 60, and you have to unlock Scholar and Summoner separately for them, but they level at the same time.
Oh, so if I go unlock it, then all of a sudden, boop.
You'll have a 60 Scholar, yep.
Fucking check that shit out. Listen, for 1750. Listen, for 1750, it's probably the best one. The best deal, honestly.
Classes.
For 1750, it's really the best deal. You can lock 2 classes like that. We got tons of poetics.
Feeny, I love you, but White Mage is best. Actually, I should clarify that. Astrologian is best, and then White Mage is a close second. Speaking as a White Mage.
Don't look at me. I'm Dark Knight.
We know.
Good at it though. Asked the group last night. Everyone died in a turn 2 boss, and I'm the only one alive. Carrying people. Duty Commence 24 is now archived, so if you missed Duty Commence, you can go check it out. The best part about Duty Commence is not only seeing your community. What the hell's going on? Your community folks, Akmorn and Aya, going about and doing fun things in your servers. They also do a community highlight. If you have not checked it out, go check it out. You can see people that you can submit art and podcasts. If you wink submit us to there, they'll give us a shout out on the show. So tomorrow, or actually I should say later, actually a few not too much longer after our show, the Final Fantasy XIV 5th year anniversary 14-hour broadcast starts at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time with, of course, the producer live letter. And of course, if I thought the live letter was this morning, thinking like, oh man, we're gonna have so much content to talk about, that is not the case. It actually happens after the show, which is good because I'll be up. I'm drinking G Fuel, like one of those other.
I got water.
Oh, I got water somewhere. I drank so much water. I drank, I want to say almost a gallon and a half of water. I've got a, yeah. I'm
As
getting
Sarah of Phoenix Down Radio says, drink water.
I'm hella hydrated. And
I'd
of
say
course,
stay thirsty, but
too late. Special guest Tiru of the band Glay will be at the 14-hour broadcast. I checked them out a little bit. Pretty good. I like Japanese bands, so I checked them out. Pretty good stuff. So the Prelude in Violet special site is already up. You can go check it out. It's got some sneak spoiler stuff in there, some tiddly bits, some extra pokey pokes. It may have had a Corpicur ball thing, the bird ball, surrounded by mud bird balls, and I may have photoshopped a thing.
there was a really good article that was posted earlier, I think it was today or maybe yesterday, about St. Mosian's Arboretum Hard that's coming out with them. It has a whole story with them. Definitely worth reading.
Yeah. There also happens to be the very last Tales from the Storm is about Sid, and it's actually Sid's backstory. It's actually really, if you like Sid as a character, it's actually really worth a read. It's really interesting. Actually, and they have a screenshot, or like they developed a screenshot of Sid, young Sid. So if you ever wanted to see what young Sid, not like beardless Sid,
Baby Sid,
not like 1.0 Sid with no beard, sans beard. It's Babby, like young.
That seems wrong.
Babby Sid.
Hey, it's chilly.
God, hey, it is chilly. See, now we're back. Chilly's
Eat it, you shall come.
It's true. It's like magic. And so, and of course, the Feast Regional Championships are happening. The winners of the championships will, of course, show up on stage. The finals will be live at FanFest in Vegas. And they will be, Frosty from Frosty TV will be hosting, the calling out the moves and whatnot. They didn't ask us. I like the Feast. I would be really good at calling the Feast. I have announcer voice.
I have no opinions on this. I'm not really into the whole Feast and PvP side of things.
I know, but you never want to go with me. I'm telling you, we put a decent team together, it can happen. Safe is good.
Because every time that I've gone with you, I always die because they focus the healer.
That's not my fault.
I play... What's your role? My
Tank.
role is to heal everybody.
And my
Your
role
is to
protect everybody.
Keep them off the healer.
But that's also the DPS's job in PvP.
I died.
That's also the DPS's. Listen, I am not a one-man army. Okay? It's not my fault the DPS are running around like... No, I try. I die the least in PvP.
It's because I heal.
It's also because I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, I was say you're pretty beast tank.
I am. Get me on there. Boo, last time it was Joe Never Fails. Joe is a... Oh, God, I miss Joe. But Joe, I think Joe kind of chucked out of the Final Fantasy community. I mean, maybe not. I don't want to disparage Joe.
Yeah, I haven't seen him around the...
I think he's... I think he's on... I think he's on that Black Desert Online game right now. I think he's on that. Playing a fisty character. Whatever their fisty character is. Monk? Boxer? I don't know. Listen, I downloaded Black Desert Online and I made a way too thick Dark
Fisty character.
No, I made a Dark Knight. They have Dark Knights over there. I made one, and she is beautiful. She is thick with 87 extra C's. So thick.
So a pirate.
No. Yeah, maybe. A little bit.
Loves the sea.
Mm-hmm. And I already said, but just to remind you, 11:30 tonight, the live letter starts. We'll get the rest of the news for Violet and Prelude, so that'll be we already know about the
4.5 hours from right now.
Yeah. It's not too much long.
It'll be about 4 hours from the time when we end.
Mm-hmm. So
quick power nap and live letter. I will not be there.
Well, Hadis, you could have phrased that better, and I phrased what how many thick with 87 C's. Oh wait, I could have said 7 C's, but then she'd be more
true.
Then she'd be more piratey. Anyway,
you missed the 14-hour broadcast starts today at 8 p.m. Pacific. It's an hour from now, not 11:30.
I'm sorry. Well, 11:30 Pacific, I said.
No. It's 8 p.m. Pacific.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Eastern.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not even the time is right there.
Listen. It's been a night.
Thank you, Chili, for the call out on that one. 8 p.m. Pacific, half an hour after the show ends. Be there or go to sleep like I will.
Been a night. You will be. I'll be watching it because I want to see what the fuck's going down. And
unfortunately, I have to be up early tomorrow, so
I will inform you. There's community news. Phoenix Down Radio is celebrating 3 years tomorrow, so congrats to the Phoenix Down Radio team. So Klaus, Luna, Sarah, and Chili, congrats on 3 years. We're coming up on 2, or we've already hit 2. Somewhere in there. We're somewhere around 2 years old. We're back.
We're just over 2 because I think we started in July in 2016.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we're just over 2, but we're coming up on 100. So we beat them.
It's true.
we beat them.
I mean, we do it twice as much. So,
ladies.
And despite our hiatus.
Mm-hmm. Hiatus. Is that
Haiti?
No. We're not. Did we go to Haiti in our break?
We could next time.
All right. Go to Haiti. Also, Extra Life is coming Saturday, November 3rd, so stay tuned for more info. Shin and I most likely will be doing some extra little streams here and there, you know, so give us money. It's not for us.
No. Don't give us money. Give the kids money. It's for the kids.
Yeah, no, give the kids money. But give us money to give. Give our Extra
Give
Life
kids money in our name. There we go.
There we go. Yeah. Do as many podcasts as I do, bish. Chili, I've guested on as many podcasts as you do. That's not including the extra like credit podcasts that are outside the gaming realm.
Yeah, I was gonna say you also have to include all of that non-gaming podcast that Chili does.
I do.
I don't know if you. You're probably close.
I've done movie podcasts. I do a comedy podcast. Have you done a movie podcast, Chili?
Does the anime podcast?
He does do the anime podcast. We don't do an anime podcast.
Not yet.
We are an anime podcast.
We have an anime from our podcast.
Shit, that'd be so great. Our anime podcast would be great.
Akugleam Hunter Force.
I know. Nobody's given. Listen. Anybody
One
draw.
One day we'll get fan art.
One day we'll get a fan. So, yeah, or more. Anyway, so our main talking points is going to be the first and foremost. We're back. Did you miss us? So in that time frame, we have shows planned up to show 100. We're still working on 100. It should be done over the next week. So that time break gave me plenty of time to sit down and say, this episode's this episode's this, this episode's this, this episode's this. So we're not stressing out about what are we going to talk about for such and such episodes. We have them all planned out. We're going to start emailing the guests we want on those episodes. Some of those guests may be in our chat now. So prepare yourself, prepare yourselves for emails. And there's a method to the madness of these guests and why they're showing up closer to.
They are mad.
No, as we get closer to 100, there's a reason why they're getting asked on. And then 100,
Also,
and then
mad.
And then you know, we're also back on iTunes. Finally, 4 months, 16 episodes later. Fuck Apple, we're back on iTunes. So
did it.
If you know somebody that uses iTunes, it's like, where the fuck did Maelstrom Radio go? You can tell them now. You can tell them. Go retweet that we were back up and tell the world that Maelstrom Radio. We can maybe get our listenership back. We lost so many people. So many people. But I'm excited to see the downloads go back up. Please. So all in all, Shin and I and Dylan want to say thank you for letting us take a break. The 2 weeks mentally recharged us and recharged in getting us prepared for not only for these episodes but also the future of this show past 100. So nothing we're ready to talk about yet, but we promise it'll be good. It's good. It's going in the right direction. So stick with us. So with that being said, oof. I had to put this first, but we want to talk about some things. Shin has not downloaded the companion app. I don't know if out of protest.
There is nothing interesting or useful about this app, and I refuse to download a terrible app that barely would work with my phone. That's about it.
Okay, so let's move on to I have downloaded this app, and I want to talk about it because I have several questions. But the things I want to point out is that the app is now. There's going to be people that come and say, "Hey, it is what it is, you know, it's good. They'll work out the bugs and make it better over time." And I'm like, all right.
It had 3 years, 2 years 2.5 years.
I don't know, a lot of
This
years.
app has been coming soon since before I started playing.
Heaven's word.
So like 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in
It's
November.
been, yeah. It we got 10 Tesseracts from Susan Sprinkle. Thank you, Susan. So, the app is not done well. I can name it right off the rip. Or the World of Warcraft app was a better app. The Rift app was a better app.
Rift had an app?
Yes, and it worked better.
I mean, pretty much anything at this point would work better than this app.
Let me tell you something. Rift on their app, not only could you chat your guild and in game, you could chat your guild and everything. They also had like these daily scratch offs you could do for free. Nothing costs money in the Rift app. You would do these little scratch offs.
I like Tryon. They did a lot of things really well.
Yes, they did. My favorite part was the scratch offs because you got to pick out 3 scratch offs a day, and depending on the scratch offs, you got different things like crafting items or like.
Right, I remember this. I did download that app. Now.
Yes, and it was good.
And I also downloaded the WoW app, which was pretty decent.
It was decent.
Garrison's not so much, but I mean, even the Destiny app, for all of the issues that the Destiny 2 app had, it was pretty good.
It works. Why does this RuneScape has an app? RuneScape's app probably works.
To be fair, RuneScape could be run as an app, so
it's true. Yeah, I got a Galaxy Note 9. I'm gonna run in RuneScape. I don't. I have an iPhone. My point being, like in all honesty, the app confuses the ever-loving crap out of me. I don't understand why there's no integration into the game. I can't talk to anybody that. Oh, by the way, if you're in game and don't have this app, I cannot talk to you. Why? Why is that?
Reasons.
Why is that?
Reasons.
I don't like it.
I don't know why. I don't know why you can only talk to one person at a time in it.
No, you can do group chat. You can do group chat.
Can you?
Yeah, there's a group chat option. Yep.
How do you even group chat?
It's
like with someone in the game.
Susan set up a group chat.
Like you can group chat, I would assume, outside of the game, but how do you do it in the game?
Windows noise. I don't know. It just create, but I think it's an app thing. I just think I don't know how. I don't know. I do not know, and I almost think that it's running some weird bullshit. Listen, the worst part is, here's the thing. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. It says that you can sign up for the premium version of this app, but it's not unlocked yet. Like it hasn't started yet. At least I haven't found it.
I don't think that they've unlocked the premium side of things yet.
So I've used the Coupo Nut system. Can I explain this? One, I think it's ridiculous that I have to use a coupon. I have to log in daily to collect. You can only collect 2. So once I use my coupon nuts, then I have to collect 2 coupon nuts to make purchases on the store. It takes 2 coupon nuts to make a purchase. I bought a Fafnir minion because somebody mispriced it and it was only 50 gil. And so I bought a Fafnir. And I jumped on that. If they didn't have the coupon nut system, it'd be great because then I can play the markets like when I'm on my lunch break.
I would much rather log into the game than try to use this app. And seeing my current level of playing, that's a pretty big statement.
I agree, but like when the WoW app had the ability to play the auction house, that's how I played the auction house. Was that work?
Oh, I agree. Like if there's something like the WoW app with the auction house or with inventory management, 100% it would be much better in the app. But it's not implemented that way.
It's not. I don't get it. I don't understand. Who is this for? Who's using this?
I'm still amazed that in 2018, so 19 years ago when EQ1 launched, I'm pretty sure their chat servers were backed by IRC.
Mm-hmm.
EQ2, I think, is the exact same. It's backed by something like IRC. You could chat outside of the game. You could chat inside of the game. We had cross-server tells immediately for free.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much easier ways to do chat systems, and like the chat in EQ and EQ2 worked so well, whether it's cross-server, I don't know about cross-data center, because I don't think they really had the concept of the data center in EQ1. But definitely like cross server, and you could even do cross data center depending on how you set up all the servers. But doing something outside of the game was easy because all you would be like, yep, log in here, and you just talk to an IRC server.
Hey, shit. You know what they implemented? I've been asking for like 4 years.
An IRC server?
Whoa, you want a robot?
Yeah, so are you.
Fixed it?
Yeah.
All right. No, not an he's an IRC server.
I did, yes.
No, not an IRC server. Oh, a fucking calendar. And the calendar, Shin, is not in game. It's pointless.
Calendar is harder though. But the calendar in the app is not a terrible idea.
But
What's terrible is that the calendar in the app doesn't link to the calendar on the lodestone.
But
I mean, if they were the same and they linked, then at least it would be a step in the right direction. But in this case, they decided to take a step, and I don't know where the hell they went.
All right, show of hands right now. How many people use the lodestone to fucking schedule shit? No.
I use the lodestone. Does that count?
No, we use the lodestone for other things, not our. Nobody in our FC ever go. How many people in our, like, I know some of the people in our FC are watching this right now. Anybody from our FC, please tell me that you've gone to the lodestone and used it for something. The S app should come with a trigger warning. This app should come with a delete button. Instantly delete. I'm not trying to disparage what the work they put into it. I understand that they were trying to connect people outside the game. I absolutely get that. It's just that it wasn't implemented well, and their competitors who've done this before years and years ago did this better. And it's sad. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think because I was being hyped for something for so many years, like, hey, no, like, and even when Chili took a question from me and asked Yoshi P, like, thank you, Chili, by the way, if you ever want to take more questions from me, ask Yoshi P, let me know. And he said, hey, listen, the calendar, you have to wait for the app. I was excited, but it was like, okay, finally, if I got to wait for this app to get this calendar that I can schedule stuff with my FC, I can't do that. I can't, like, unless everybody in the game, and Shin, you and I have had this discussion outside of this app, like, just like, how hard is it to get somebody to use a piece of any app, any sort of software, anything outside of the game? Get people on Discord, get people on a website, a guild website. It's difficult because people want to just stay to the game. And you're going to tell me that I'm going to tell all my FC, like, I'm forcing you all to download this app so I can schedule stuff? Hell no, they're not going to do it. I mean, to be fair, if you're out there and you're using this app and your FC all downloaded this app and you're chatting with each other, fantastic. But there's no way that everyone's going to do that. And it sucks. Like, people don't even, like, Zach, thank you, Susan Sprinkle. People don't even look at the company board. Like, I mean, let's be real here. Let's be honest. Like, why implement this great feature and not have the ability to do it in game? Why is it that other games do this? I don't get it. Guild Wars, WoW, Rift, UQ2, I think, has a built-in calendar you schedule stuff on. Correct? Am I wrong or am I right? I believe it does. I think it's got a count. I know you haven't been on in there. I think it does have a in-game calendar you can, like, tussle with.
Think it does. I don't know if you can schedule stuff on it.
Been a minute though.
Probably by now.
I would think so. I'm so confused. Reading is for losers. Yeah, I agree, but if I could just have a little blip pop up that says, hey, so and like flight is scheduled such and such thing on such and such day. If you want to go there, click yes, maybe, or no. Easy peasy. That's it.
You would think, but I'm assuming a system like that would be a lot harder to actually run and write.
Like, Vanilla WoW had it. But listen, I'm comparing. Listen, I know I'm comparing apples and oranges at this point. But to be fair,
we said, EQ1 and EQ2 had an amazingly working chat system with cross-server tells, cross-world tells, in and out of game chatting, groups, everything.
I mean, they had to nuke the servers to fix the game. So I mean, I know a lot of this game is still running on spaghetti code. I know that. I know that it's still running on some of the 1.0 coding, and we know they've admitted that some of this, like, we got to go back in there and fix it. That's fine. I'm just trying to figure out where this app fits into the fucking gameplay of this world. like I feel like it's an outside disconnect. Like I feel like it's an extra boon. Like it's not a how do I explain it? It's something to say, hey, do you play Final Fantasy 14? Let's connect on this app and talk outside of Final Fantasy 14 about Final Fantasy 14. That is it's you know what it is? It's a glorified Final Fantasy forum outside the game. It's a travel forum that you could speak with just your friends on the forum.
The sad part is it's not even really a good forum.
No, it's not. It's a shitty forum.
And that's terrible because forums are pretty bad these days.
You can't even GIF in this forum.
Need my reacts.
It's not even 4chan.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
I feel like I'm standing above the app and like, I have the higher ground. like the app's yelling at me from the lava. I hate you. All right. So enough.
It's kind of as bad as the prequels.
Oh. Oh, no Misa, no likey. Well, somebody out there is going to like the prequels get real pissed off by that statement. I like the prequels. They were good.
What's different from anything else that we say?
Everybody hates
People
us.
get pissed off all the time.
It's true. Speaking of that line, I hate you. So let's have a chance of being banned like the real form. Yeah, true. So with that being said, let's talk about Final Fantasy XIV itself. As of late, speaking of Final Fantasy XIV, and this is, I'm not trying to say this, like this whole episode's gonna be out of like, oh, we came back, but we're fucking full rage. Piss and vinegar tonight. No, it's not so much that. It's just that it's been 5 years. I've seen Work to Game. Brian over at Work to Game just did a video called "Is Final Fantasy XIV Dying?" LBR has been talking about this for years, about the state of the game in their own way, in their own right. But now it seems more and more as we continue. Even some of my friends who have been very much, holding the flag of Final Fantasy XIV are even starting to question their gaming. People that I would think that are like pillars for this game. I'm not going to name names because I don't, because they do their own content. I don't want to, but personally, we've talked about the state of the game, and I think it's time that we talk about the state of the game. We've been playing this game, I think, for at least me, I've been playing it for 5 years, since A Realm Reborn. Shin, I think, since A Realm Reborn, so roughly 5 years as well.
Heavensward. I started just before Heavensward, which makes it
4 years?
Just under 4 years.
Yeah. So, the first thing I want to bring up is the content. I'm not saying the content's bad, it's just predictable. We know what we're going to get every patch. We know we're going to get a dungeon, we know we're going to get a trial, we know we're going to get a set of raids, and we know we're going to get, but it's just predictable. Nothing is surprising. I'm not saying the content is bad. I like the dungeon design. I think the fights are really done really well, and they're interesting fights. I've never been upset about going into a trial and saying, no, that was boring. The raids have been really good. I like Sigma and Delta Scape. I think the fights were all very interesting. The story's been very interesting there. Ivalice has also been a lot of fun. Like they've actually put some more challenging parts into those raids. I think Math Boss was a good idea. It's just the predictable setup, and I'm waiting for a shakeup. Like I feel like Final Fantasy XIV needs a big shakeup in the content, because it's starting to lose people. And I'm not saying that subs are going down. I'm saying you're starting to lose people. Like, I could even say Shin, for example. Like Shin won't only log in for if people want him there to be there to log in, or if there's going to be content coming out, so he'll try it out. But I think a shakeup is warranted. Like every MMO needs a shakeup from time to time. It's not hard. You want to shake things up a little bit, reinvigorate the masses into your game.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Even if you look at a lot of the other MMOs out there, most of them are fairly predictable in what they're putting out. WoW has had the same sort of predictability for a while. It hasn't really done anything that's shaken it up over the last few years.
Has it not? Because I've played WoW since vanilla, and it has changed over time. I mean,
it has, but it's on a much larger scale of time. It doesn't make radical changes every few months.
It doesn't make
a very predictable scale. You know exactly what gets launched every 5
So let me preface this maybe a little bit, saying like maybe 5.0. Like I'm not talking about next patch. I'm talking about next expansion. Like I really feel like
but it's even games that have been out for 20 years or almost 20 years. Like it's a very predictable release cycle, and I think that's the end result for all MMOs. It just depends on your level of interest in that game necessarily.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that things like Warcraft or even Rift, like they change up. Like, for example, like, all right, if you're playing through BFA, which I am, like on my spare time, what little spare time I have, like my little extra spare time, I hop in there, I do a couple levels. It's done really interesting storytelling. The dungeons are really different. The way they've taken stuff from the past and redeveloped it. It's been done really well.
Right, but it's the same thing when Stormblood came out. There was new interesting dungeons that did stuff different from the past. There was an interesting storyline, and it was new content.
Yes, but they've also added new features, like new interesting, like for example, they added island expeditions and war fronts, and like they've added these 2 new pieces of content. To be fair, yes, I know you're gonna say yes, but we have Animos, which is a whole new piece of content, and so it's a whole new thing. But
and we have the new Golden Saucer stuff. We have.
All right, let's take a step back. All right, fashion report. It's not really a thing though. You just show up, do your fashion
jumping puzzle.
But we haven't gotten it yet.
True.
And we've had jumping puzzles. It's not new content. It's just something. It's just a new thing. We got one for frickin' spring. What was the summer event? We got a jumping puzzle. All the
we did for that, yeah. But listen, I mean, that stuff that came relatively new.
Shin, I'm waiting for Exhibit to show up in the fucking game. He said, "I heard you like jumping puzzles."
But what I'm saying is that when an expansion launches, it sometimes comes with a whole bunch of new features, and then it has a certain bunch of new content, and then you get into the patch release cycle. And the patch release cycle for most games is fairly predictable. When it's not predictable, it's terrible. I remember a few expansions ago, WoW had a really terrible, it wasn't predictable, they didn't release content at any rate, and they lost tons and tons of subs.
Yeah, that was called Pandaria.
Really? I thought that was...
Warlords just, they quit. Warlords, they just said, no, but then they looked at Legion, but remember, Legion... You got to look at something like Legion, where it was like, all right, next patch, all of a sudden it was the whole new zone, all new questing area, and like they dropped the bomb. Like actually, they did that twice.
They did it a little bit, but it was pre-planned out that they were going to release that over.
But nobody
time, right? But it's the same thing with the raids. We know when they did it, they launched it, and then a month later they launched the raids, and a few weeks later they did another set of raids.
But nobody was suspecting that. Like nobody was like, everybody was suspecting the same continents, but nobody was expecting a whole new like massive area, like a whole new zone off planet, by the way, not even like a whole new planet. Here's a whole new fucking planet.
The space goats aside,
I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to make this a WoW debate, but
all I'm trying to say is that every game has
a I understand
formulaic release
cycle. It does.
Good ones at least do.
I absolutely agree with you. It's very formulaic in the release cycle. I'm just saying, like, the spark of interest in the content needs to change, and maybe I have some suggestions.
But I don't even know if it necessarily needs to change. I think it's the system. I think it's just the evolution of games over time. I played EverQuest for 8 or 9 years, I think.
But doesn't EverQuest front load everything though? Like everything's there, right? You just have to progress through the game to unlock it.
I don't know what you mean.
Like, all right, so everything's there already. Like, I could be wrong. Just in the last couple of expansions, from what I've seen, everything's there. Like, I don't know if they actually like patch out things anymore. I think everything's just like, here you go. But like, once you get there, you get there.
I don't know because I haven't paid attention for the last few years. But back when I did play, like, there was an expansion release every 2 years, pretty much like clockwork.
But now it's every
patches
year,
every month that get updated. I think it was every month. Might have been every 2 months, but they always were a patch, and they had certain patches that were just more or less bug fixes, and they had patches that added bits and pieces of content, whether it was new dungeons or something else. And they followed a specific pattern of this release schedule, and it was great, and there was always stuff to do. But after 8 or 9 years, it felt repetitive, and there wasn't really anything that was interesting to me personally. Now, there's still people that go out there and play that game, and they're fine with that. So I think it's more of how people interpret it is more like how they interact with it over time.
Cast you adding new plans couldn't save Destiny. Womp womp.
Like, for example, someone coming into Final Fantasy today might see these patches coming out every 4 months and go, "Oh my god, there's so much new content always being added. I'm never going to run out of content." But in 4 years, maybe they will.
Or they're going to be like, "Oh god, I want to catch up to my friends. How the fuck am I going to do this? So much content in between."
That's a whole separate problem.
It is
how to catch up.
It
to
is.
People.
I'm trying to say, I'm not like, yet again, I'm not saying the content bad. It's just predictable, and I think that like they've changed it up. Don't get me wrong.
I don't think predictability is a bad thing.
It's not. It's not. We can predict, but the problem is we're starting to predict. It's going to be a dungeon. It's going to be this. It's going to be this. But we already know what they are. Like they keep it out. Like it's going to be this. It's going to be this. It's going to be this.
And that's not a bad thing.
It's not. But it's nice to maybe have like they're not having like at least one trick up their sleeve. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something like a little bit like ba-pa! Didn't see that coming. It's nice to have a little wapa. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they're pretty open about what they're working on. And what
motherfucker. Listen, I know it was a language thing, but fucking me getting to play as Alphino is not special. Right? I've played as tons of different characters in WoW all the time.
But yeah, what I'm saying is like they're very open about what they're developing. Whether it's, hey, we're working on increasing the servers so that you are fixing the server so that we can have more inventory space, or hey, we're looking at increasing your character bags,
completely fine
chocobo
with
saddlebags, all that sort of stuff. Actually, the chocobo saddlebags were
I think
they're until they launched.
Listen, they're great about quality of life. They're great about that. They give us a lot of quality of life stuff. They give a lot of stuff that the people ask for, and that's great. So let's move on to progression. I have a way to fix that.
Why does it need to be fixed?
Hear me out. Motherfucker tomes. Get the hell out of here. How many pieces of currency do we need, Shin?
Lots, but you're talking about a great gear treadmill. Name a game that doesn't have a gear treadmill that has a player base.
Well, what if we say that we can reinvigorate the old content? Would you say nay to that?
No, I would say that's a good idea.
Thank you. So hear me out.
There's multiple ways of doing this.
But they haven't done it right. So you want to hear my idea? Please tell me you want to hear my idea.
I mean, I'm bet I'm going to hear your idea regardless of what I say.
I know, but it's such a good idea.
Toma's idea are just terrible.
Yes, but wouldn't it be all right? So two things. One, I'm going to talk about how they implement the old content in the right way. Let's say weekly, right? There's a rotation of A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, and even just those two. And then every expansion they add Storm, then they rotate out Stormblood and all that. But say like, all right, if you're running special, like there's a special queue that pops up and it says weekly story dungeon or whatever the case is. and they'll have one for raids as well, and then you can run that stuff for content and gear and stuff like that, but it'll give you a level appropriate gear, so you have another gear avenue as well, so you can get gear for your character. It's an easier way to gear up. You could also still get tomes that way. It's not going to like eliminate anybody from getting gear or anything like that. It's just like, all right, this gear just has a number and it's stat appropriate. End of story. That's pretty easy to do. And also find new avenues to spend tomes on. Like, let's say if I wanted to spend, because eventually you start capping out tomes, right? Like then tomes become useless. A lot of us are there. What I'm saying is maybe start using tomes for other pieces of progression and saying, all right, well, what if I start using my tomes to supplement stuff in Animus? Like, or I can buy a juice that gives me an XP boon in Animus and lets me run through that a little bit faster. I mean, something to start helping progression in other parts of the game. I know
you're just making the gear treadmill reward people who run on the gear treadmill. It doesn't actually increase anything. People will do it more.
Everybody runs on the gear treadmill.
No. I got all of my gear pretty fast, and I stopped playing.
Yes, you did. But if you can use your tomes and stuff and progress in other areas like Animus, something you don't really want to
stopped playing.
All right, but I'm saying if you still had the ability, just because you stopped, I'm just saying giving the option to people that would still want to do something. I want to do Animus. I want to get my weapon. I want to get the cool glowy weapon. I like the cool. I'm sad I don't have a cool glowy weapon, but I gotta fucking punish myself through Animus first. And then Pagos of all the shit. But I'm going to do it. It's going to bite me in the ass, but I'm going to do it. But if I had an option to say, like, I can spend some of my tomes, my extra tomes to get, like, buffs and boons to help me level through there. Or, like, let's say if it gave me something that says, hey, negate level loss for an hour. So just in case I die, I don't lose a level. Like if it's something that's like a little, like just to help, and you can limit to say like it only works from level such and such and such and such. So that way you're still in danger in Pagos, or like up to, like so something that helps the Animus leveling a little bit. And I'm speaking of Animus, not just the Pagos. I'm speaking of Animus specifically because we ran into Animus and some of us died, and then it was pushing us further back, and other people were like out. Like you know what I'm saying? Like Feeny in chat lost levels and lost all their progress. Sorry, Feeny.
Me too.
And yeah, it sucks. But let's say if you had a boon or something that you could buy using your tomes that you're just sitting there collecting dust, and you can say like, all right, negate any death. Like I understand you're gonna say like
you mean like if we could have multiple sets of gear and crafting items and other sorts of interesting things, orchestrion rolls, minions, ventures. Various items that we could use throughout, it would be useful.
Yes.
Because that describes creation right now, and I've been capped on creation for the last 6 months.
But you can use it for more stuff. I'm saying
creation you can use for everything. You could use creation for a large portion of the previous anima weapon.
You can anima, not
because that's the previous tier.
Not animus, not the current content.
No, as I said, it's the old content.
No, I'm talking about Animus. Specifically Animus. Like the current content. Like something that helps you, like something that helps the people that are bitching about the thing now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something that helps the current, like, stuff now.
But making the current problem slightly less bad doesn't actually fix the problem.
It would make
you're trying to put a band-aid on something that sucks, and that doesn't work.
All right, how many
content less bad doesn't help?
How many people in chat would use their tomes for using that band-aid? I guarantee everybody fucking would use that band-aid. Everybody would use that band-aid.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't fix the problem. It just makes it less bad.
It doesn't make
not by much either.
Well, it doesn't. We leveled fairly quickly. Like they fixed a lot of that other issue because of the 300% bonus plus the book. Like you can level to 20 fairly quickly. It's the dying part that sucks currently. I don't mind it in Pagos. Like if we locked our level in at 20 or whatever the case is, and then Pagos you just drop down to 20. Like I don't know, do you drop down if you go to Pagos and you drop down before whatever level? Like do you have to go back to Animus and level up into Pagos? Is that possible? Because I would be pissed. Just saying. Like I haven't gotten to Pagos yet, but let me know. Not trying to shit all over this thing, but
you could probably like stay in there as long as you're that level, but you'd have to, if you leave, you'd probably have to get locked out again or something.
I'm just saying, I'm not a game developer, but I'm saying these are options in progression. Like I'm just saying, offer people more progression paths to get to their goals.
Your solution isn't fixing the problem; it's just hiding the fact that it's not implemented well in the first place.
It's not
how Pagos and Animus are done.
Listen, they should fix the damn gear treadmill.
Oh, yes, but there really hasn't been a game out there that's figured out how to do that well.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, no. I mean, no game is figured out, but offering...
that's not true. Games that have non-traditional leveling systems do better. Now,
do you want to hear... Do you want to hear my other progression solution?
If it's quick, because we're running on time here.
Yes, it is quick.
Okay.
Next expansion. No levels.
Part of me agrees, but part of me very much disagrees with this, and that's a larger part. I don't think, as much as it is a really, really great idea to not have levels, you still need a form of progression. And I don't think Square is in a position to release something like that because I don't think that they know how to do progression without levels yet.
They did it at 11. They did it at 11. Shit.
But did they actually do it?
Yes.
Or did they just do slightly different gear grinds?
No, they did it in 11.
So what did they do differently?
I don't know.
Like, how did they do it without doing the level?
Chili in chat, yes. Final Fantasy XI didn't give levels for most of the expansions. See?
But what was their progression? If the progression was just higher item levels, that's effectively the same as more level.
Because gear was valuable in 11. Like you could have a piece of gear that lasted you 2-3 expansions. Like they had progression in terms of story. And that most of the part, let's say what is the true end game of this game, right? It's decorating your house and glamour, right? Let's be honest. Let's throw it on the table. And the story. A lot of people play this game for the story. How many people are actually progressing through this game to say, I'm going to do raiding, like in WoW? Like WoW endgame is raiding, right? Like let's cut.
Yes.
But so at the end of the game, nobody's like sitting there like, I'm going to.
So tell me this. If there was no more item level, like if they didn't increase the item levels and they didn't increase the leveling system in the next expansion, how many people would still be playing after a month?
Good question. I have no idea. But the question is going to be not how many people. It's like what are they going to do to develop content to make it interesting to keep people playing? Not how many people are going to play.
And that's the key. And I don't think that the 14 team has necessarily thought about that, or they haven't shown anything that they've thought of that. They've thought of alternative leveling systems, but nothing that necessarily increases the main level or changes the main leveling system of the game itself.
It's something to start. It could be something they could concentrate on, or even do. I'm just saying.
And they could, but they haven't shown anything that makes me inclined to think that they even would think about that for the main game.
Which makes me concerned because if Yoshi P really does play a lot of other MMOs, I know he plays WoW, I know he's played Guild Wars, I know he plays Dark Ages. He played Dark Ages the Camelot, which a game had not a gear progression system of all games is Dark Age of Camelot. It's just so interesting to me that like this producer. I mean, I'm not saying the content is bad. It's just I don't know if it's like they don't have enough manpower on their team or the funding.
It's also experience, right? Like what's your background? What are you familiar with? What do you think might be interesting or fun? And having an idea for a non-traditional leveling system is difficult, especially if the game isn't designed to support that in the first place. Like the game was probably originally made so that people could level up. Like there are so many classes, they all have levels. The game wasn't really designed to horizontally progress as much.
It wasn't. And I know that's a big ask. Like the horizontal progression
system. It's a
system,
very hard thing to re-architect the entire system to support something like that. And that's why like we've seen a lot of these new things that they're experimenting with, Eureka, deep dungeons, like all of those sorts of things, but they're all separate systems from the main one. Like they're completely new and individual things that don't affect the main.
Can I ask you something then? Can I ask?
You can.
Why are people losing interest? Why do you think? Just it could be. I mean, it's going to be your opinion.
I can't speak for anyone else. I can speak for myself. Like
I know
there's lots of content that I haven't done, and some of it I would really like to do, but I need more people to do it with, and I don't want to do that with a bunch of random people, and I don't really feel like organizing a group of 8 to go and do content.
Okay.
That being said, that's on me. That's my own personal thoughts. In terms of the rest of the game, I've leveled up a bunch of classes and I don't really want to go and grind through low levels up to high levels again. So I don't really want to level more classes. I'm not a crafter, so I don't really craft. And I don't want to run the exact same dungeons again and again and again and again. Like we've run the 2.0, 3.0 dungeons a lot at this point. The 4.0 dungeons are fine, but the chances of actually getting one of those in the roulette are pretty slim.
Slim, yeah.
Apart from like the expert roulette, which again is great, but there's only 3 dungeons on it, so you usually get the same one over and over again. So like for me, it feels really, really repetitive to go in and do this again and again and again. And I would rather spend time doing less repetitive things. I have a very large backlog I need to work through.
So, all right, then I'm going to ask you this. Do you think it would behoove the team, not us, the team, to figure out how to make that backlog, one, a little more accessible, two, not maybe so randoms, like making it easier for us to connect with 8 people, like an in-game calendar, for example, making these tools available to us to start doing these things in game. I'm not asking them to change the world. I'm asking them to reevaluate, like any company would. Let me speak real quick. I know we're fucking cutting real close on time, and I know you need to go to bed. I promise I will. Any good company will sit back and say, let's reevaluate where we're at right now. Let's take a look at like our numbers and everything like that. And I'm sure they are. I'm absolutely sure that they're doing this. It would be stupid to think they're not. Like any game, Destiny would do it. That's probably how Forsaken's ending up the way it is. I think Destiny should have done that a while ago. Like Bungie should have listened a little bit ago, but that's fine. Like as long as they start to do it, it's time to really look at and say, how can we make 5.0 stand out? Because you really need to make 5.0 the game that's like, all right, we know we've been like resting on our laurels for a bit, like since A Realm Reborn, because you came out strong, right? You ended the fucking world. Let's be honest, A Realm Reborn was great because 1.0 you destroyed the world. You had a strong ending and a strong beginning for a game. It came out, you knocked it out of the park. The game was pretty great, like very few bugs. It was outsold. It was just slamming. It was fucking chilly. Destiny sucks. Destiny 2 is free on PS4 this month. To be fair, Chili, real quick, Destiny 2 being free on PS4 this month is actually a really smart move by Bungie. That's a really freaking great marketing move. I think that's genius, especially with the new expansion coming out. It's smart, but that's beside the point. That being said, I think they really need to take a look and say, listen, how can we make this next expansion really stick out? Looking at things like the Rising event and looking at like some of the little tidbits of like, oh hey, the Magitech was kind of like being used. Could that signify a puppeteer class, or having your Magitech mount be a new companion that you can level through? Like, because most people's chocobos are maxed out, not mine, but most. And you could have now a Magitech companion, which I remember, what was it, Maggie, or I can't remember the name of our Magitech mount. The one that was in 1.0 actually had a name, and I was like, imagine that thing being able to like fight in battle with you instead of your chocobo, like having an option for another companion. That'd be dope, and you could deck it out and decorate it. I came here for the DC Universe Online, but. And also maybe like offering, like I said, just different paths for progression wouldn't hurt. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. All right, we might not be able to do a horizontal progression progress. Maybe not adding 10 more levels, like 5 levels, and then figuring out like how to reinvigorate like gear or how gear works wouldn't be so hard to do, and try to like slow down on the treadmill a little bit or make gear reusable or last a little longer. It wouldn't hurt. I mean, don't get me wrong. They've done a lot of things great. Crafting gear was such a smart idea. Not many games do crafting gear really well. Final Fantasy has an option. If you're behind and you can get someone to craft you gear, you'll be right up in your eye level. And matching, like decent gear, like they do that really well. There's a lot that this game does really well. And I'll say it because Shin says it a lot. It's the same thing, and I agree with Shin. I play this game because this is where my friends are at. I play this game because I love this community, and I play this game because not because it led me to do Maelstrom Radio, because I met amazing people. It's just, even when my friends that have been like even more diehard about this game than I have start to tell me that it's lacking, something needs to change, and it's sad. It's sad to see that, because the people I'm talking about are super passionate about this game, super passionate, and. You know, I'd like to see something, just something like it's not even a new piece of content, just an effort made to not make it the same from the last 3 expansions. And I know you're gonna say predictability is not bad. I'm not saying anything about the predictability, but something Like just something to spice it up a little bit.
So to go back to your original question of like, do I think that Final Fantasy should like basically look into not doing a leveling system and do alternate progression for it? I think they should investigate it. I don't think they should do it for 5.0 for sure. And
it might be too early.
Ultimately, I actually don't think that with the current state of the game and how it's going, I don't think that they should necessarily look into alternate progression because it's too much of a change from the current standard. And I think they'll end up losing a lot more of their player base if they tried to completely change how that works. I don't think that it really benefits them to make massive sweeping changes like this, or change how things are done or progression is done. Like we've seen even small changes have huge ramifications in the community. Like there's things that they've changed that have been good and things that they've changed that are bad, and the community freaks out every time that something little is different. So making big changes like that, I don't think it's a good idea on their part. I think they should look at it and consider it, but I don't see a system right now that they could do for that.
No, but it'd be interesting to see if they could do it. Like I'm not saying for 5.0, but there needs to be, I'm not saying we're going to agree or agree on any part of this, but would you disagree with me in saying that something needs to change in 5.0? I know it's a new expansion, but there needs to be some sort of, all right. You know when you make something or something, you get the same food and you're given the same food every day and it has no salt, and all of a sudden maybe salt's not the best analogy here, but
no, it's not.
All right, let's say if you get a piece of food and it's like just lacking, I'm gonna say garlic. Everybody loves garlic. I'm just gonna say garlic, and it's like, man, this could really use some garlic. I feel like this dish needs some garlic. It needs something. It's missing a little something. And a little spice goes a long way, man. Just saying, just a little spice.
I'm not sure if that would necessarily change the game or the player base.
Would you be against? All right, so we have something like Heavens on High where you can do a progression group of 1 to 4, right? Would you be? And Animus is fantastic. Actually, using that tech in the current event for the Rising, they're using it for the 1.0 Calamity thing. Would a Calamity hurt? I'm going to leave it on that. Let's ask that question real quick and we'll end the show. Do you think a Calamity would hurt? I'm going to talk big talk now. One more Calamity. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad time to do it.
Are you talking like game shutting down sort of thing?
No.
Because I think that would be terrible and would kill the game.
No. I'm talking about like Calamity change the world. Like even the old school areas, like change them up a little bit.
I think it would be a bad idea at this point. We're still only 4 years into the game, so
no, we're not.
We're 4 years into the remake of the game, but
we're
the
5.
original
No,
game doesn't.
We're 5 years.
We're 5 years into the game.
5 years.
So, like realistically, we're looking 2009-ish in terms of WoW. Pretty sure WoW did not destroy the system in 2009.
To be fair, Wrath was out, if I remember correctly. I might need a...
They did it in 2010.
Okay, so 1 year difference.
So it would have actually lined up with 5.0.
1 year. I mean, 5.0 would be a good place to like drop a bomb. Even let's say not even 5.0.
5.0 will be coming out in 2019.
All right.
5.0 comes out in next
so
June.
Why not make that the? I'm not saying 5.0 drop the. I'm not saying beginning of 5.0 drop the bomb. I'm saying end of 5.0. That would make sense. Fighting the Garleans.
I still don't think it's a great idea.
It never seems like a great idea. It's always it's the best idea.
Well, like, take a look. There's been a few MMOs that decided to completely rechange the world. WoW is one of them.
Yes.
Guild Wars 2 is another.
Yep.
Final Fantasy did it as well, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
They rebuilt the whole game, but like I don't think it's necessarily a great solution to the problem. Especially like there are very bad ways that you could do this, but
there are
especially destroying the world. Actually, EverQuest did this as well. EQ1 and EQ2 both did it.
Can I say something? You know what they're really good at? Destroying the world.
I think it's kind of a cop-out. Like, it does allow them to re-architect and redo a lot of stuff, but I also don't think that Final Fantasy is at that point where they really need to do that. Right? Like, most of the other games have done it either for architectural reasons, they need to actually like fix up a bunch of stuff, and we also need to do
I'm saying,
or when like the subs are going down and we need to do something very massive and shake things up.
let's.
Kind of a cop out for story wise.
Is it? Maybe
Yes.
maybe losing isn't such a bad idea. We've been winning this whole time.
Losing is not a terrible thing, but you don't need to destroy the world to lose.
No, but we can end up with another calamity.
Why though?
Why not? I mean,
As I said, it's kind of a cop-out storytelling thing, right? Like, you know what? We can't fix what's going on right now, so let's just destroy it all and start from scratch.
But let's see. Class is 6.0. We go to the moon. Is that damn moon again?
No, 5.0, we go to the moon. Come on.
5. Yeah. 5.
Going to the moon today.
So, all right. So let's say, I mean, Zodiac has got to come at some point, right? Like we've always mentioned Zodiac. The Ascians are going to want to bring their god into realization. I mean, like, it happened.
Idle and
What a good time to make things happen. I'm just saying, theoretically, theoretically, it wouldn't be such a terrible thing. I know, man, we came back. We're talking, like, this has been, can I say real quick, this has been one of my favorite shows just because you and I are having such a great debate about this. And I know you got to go to bed. I'm so sorry. But it's just, man, I'm like, who here, anybody in chat, like, just feeling like, man, like, this game needs a little something. Carolina Reapers, I saw that, Klaus. Like, I can't be crazy. I cannot be the only one. And I've talked, like, I don't want to mention names, but there's people like, I'm shocked that this person told me this sort of situation. And like there's people like that are so passionate about this game that I'm like, they're starting to feel like, what's the point? I'm the breast. Final Fantasy needs a lot of something. He doesn't count. His opinion's not valid. It's been too light and happy. I agree. It's been too light and happy. Just not.
Has it been? We've kind of had some pretty strong storytelling elements for an MMO.
We have, but it's, come on, man. It's still been pretty light and happy. Like, even like Xenos to like, all right.
I mean, we had the All My Friends Are Dead section. You forgot about that.
But
already?
They all came back. They can't even keep people
eventually,
dead.
But that was a good 6 months.
Motherfucker, the spoiler alert, they couldn't even keep Xenos dead.
Yeah.
They got a problem. They can't.
Gaius.
Keep Gaius. Well, to be fair though, his body was never at the end of that cutscene. I'm pretty sure hashtag Gaius lives. So I'm just saying. Only big death was only Moonbrita. Moonbrita was a big death. Actually, no, Poplomo died. I don't think that fucker's coming back.
No, we haven't gotten enough expansions yet. Poplomo could still come back.
That's true. We can piece them together. He turned himself into a...
Feeney's talking about time travel, and actually I agree with Feeney there.
I'm okay with time travel.
They could do it, not necessarily as like...
Didn't I explain to you?
Main plot point.
I can't remember I don't know if I was talking... Oh, no, I was talking to Anonymous. All right, so my idea was for the... All right, so... lore real quick. Super quick on the lore. So the whole point of the burn is that's where... I can't remember his name. Big Daddy Garlean supposedly saw the primals there, and that's what the burn is. Like, they fought and like sucked up all the juice out of the land. That's why it's all deserty.
Aether.
The juice. Yeah, juice. They sucked the juice out of the land. And so now that's why it's called the burn. Wouldn't it be dope? I know it's not going to happen because I already saw the screenshots of the dungeon, but my thought would be really cool if we could use the Echo to go back in time and fight through what the primal, so we could see the story of that place. That would be such an...
They could still do that in terms of like the burn and trials or something.
Yes, and that would be dope. Because you know what's really cool? Like the Caverns of Time in WoW, and I can go back in time and play through WoW scenario. Like what do WoW? Like, all right, for example, in Warcraft 3 was the whole point where Arthas goes to the city, does the calling of Stratholme, right? And you played that in Warcraft 3. You can run that as a dungeon in Warcraft. It's dope as shit. It's so cool. It's where I got you your bronze dragon. Remember we hustled through that. I fucking OP'd that dungeon, and so you can get you a dragon. Yes, I did. I OP'd.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't remember.
I got you a gold drake.
I don't remember.
There's a lot of zombies. And Arthas.
I vaguely remember Arthas.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of dinosaurs now in this one.
And I think we should wrap this up now. And I think this is something we want to talk about in the future. But to close off with the time travel thing, I think it would be really interesting to do. I don't think it would be really good to do it as a main portion of the main storyline, but if used correctly, it could be a very good mechanism.
Fuck it, let's do it for the main story.
No.
Yeah. Throw it in there, shake it up.
Depending on how they do it, they could do it, but I don't really want to see it as a main component of the main storyline.
They did it in 11.
Doesn't mean they should do it again.
It was good in 11. Maybe, I don't know. Was it good in 11? I didn't play a lot of 11. I was playing WoW. I'm gonna kill Sean. Sean, you're not on talking chat anymore. Live letter in 3 minutes. All right, so we gotta go. Live letter's happening in 3 minutes. This was this is a discussion we can have for another time. Next week, surprisingly or not, Shin is out next week. Dylan will be here because Dylan's on our team, so Dylan can fill in when Shin's not here. It's actually kind of nice. So next week, Dylan will be here, and we're going to talk about cheating on your MMOs. So perfect segue, really, for this episode is to go in and say what would lead you to be cheating on your MMO. So check out next week where Dylan and I will sit down and discuss why her and I are playing Battle for Azeroth, even though I'm still playing. She's not playing Final Fantasy currently, but I am still playing Final Fantasy. But I'm also playing. Anyway, Shin, do you have any final thoughts on this?
I do not.
I mean, I really don't either. Shin hurt me and told me all my ideas were stupid. They're not all
most of my episode.
Not all my ideas are stupid.
No, the me hurting you part.
Yeah, but I like it and I never say the safe word.
Pineapple.
Nope, didn't say it. People are gonna. That's a lot to unpack for a lot of people. Oh, geez. Anyway, with that being said, the show notes. With that being said, you can, Gilgamesh, Greg, Dominant Umbra, come join Umbra. We have plenty of people. We love you to see you there. Come hang out with us. Come see our decorated house. It's nice. Everybody's been decorating and crafting and stuff. So anyway, you can find us weekly here at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9:30 Eastern. Like I said, next week will be Dylan. Shin is out. Our show is on iTunes for sure. Officially, again, it is on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. For those iTunes folks, please, for the love of Pete, go and like, subscribe, and leave a review of some sort. We like that. That helps us. You can find us on maelstromradio.com. You can find our email there. It's show@maelstromradio.com. You can find our Discord on our website and on our Twitter. Our Twitter is at maelstrom_radio. You can find us on facebook.com/maelstromradio. And of course, you can find us here at Twitch weekly. Twitch.tv/Maelstrom Radio, where you can also find us streaming other things as well. Not so much Final Fantasy, but sometimes Final Fantasy. So, all right. Bye, everybody. I'm gonna mute. Yeah.
No. Tomorrow is Phoenix Down Radio's 3-year anniversary stream. Go check it out. There'll be more on their Twitter account.
One of us will show up there.
Yes, it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Klaus. It's gonna be me.
You should be able to guess which one of us, but just in case.
All right, I'm pre-apologizing now. Listen, Live Letter never starts on time. They play music for like 10 minutes. All right, say goodbye, Shin.
Bye, Shin.
Do one of these, and of course, ba ba ba. Other button. And I want to thank you all for letting us come back after a 2-week hiatus. Guns a-blazing, apparently, this episode. Thank you all for letting us have 2 weeks off, and thank you all for letting us have the discussion. If you have an opinion about what 5.0 should bring change, maybe in 6.0, send us an email at show@maelstromradio.com. Kind of curious to see what you all think. You know, change is good. Unless you're Shin, he doesn't like change. With that being said, till sea swallows all, keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is a production of maelstromradio.com and Blackfire Media Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Opening theme provided by Benjamin Anthony James. You can find more of their music over at soundcloud.com/Ben773. Our outro is provided by Sodo. You can find more of their music over at soundcloud.com/Sodo. Views and opinions expressed on this episode are those of Maelstrom Radio and their host, and do not reflect the views and opinions of Square Enix. And until sea swallows all, keep listening.